Hello, this is Milt Olson with Maintenance Technology Systems. We're going to be doing an overview of our MTS Xplorer vibration analysis software. This program is used to collect and put into a database all of the vibration data collected by our VBox 3, VBox 2, VBox 4, and 6 devices. For data storage, analysis, history, all of those things are taken into account here. So I'm just going to go over the basic layout of the screen, some of the things to identify, how things work. So we're going to start here in the upper left-hand corner. This is the area or customer list. And we can simply select whichever one of these we prefer. Right now, the limestone plant is selected. We have two different plants, one in Nevada, one in Montana. And as I select that, you can see that all of the values updated in that process. So that's how those two drop-down menus work. This one is for all of the different ways that we can look at a list of data or machines or measurement locations. So I'll just briefly explain each one of these. This last surveyed machines is data that was most recently uploaded to the database in this particular department. It will only show you those machines. This one, of course, shows you all of the machines in the department that have had data stored on them. And all machines in the database just simply shows you all the machines that have been set up, whether they have data or not. The field analysis machines are those that if you were out with our VBox 3 portable data collector, collecting data, and input field notes or analysis or something that you wanted to be reminded of when you got back to the office, you could go to those particular machines. The last analyzed machines, where the last time analysis was done in this department and a report was generated, it will show you the list of those machines, one machine or as many as were on the report. The last one is order analyzed by location. If you have some machines that you can walk through in a certain order, but it doesn't make sense to analyze them in that order, you can create a list and have those all be in the proper order for doing analysis. So that's what that one is for. If we'll just keep this one with all the machines in the database. We can access any machine on this list simply by double-clicking on the machine or clicking on the plus sign and then selecting the which measurement location you'd like to see data on. And as you can see, that changes as I go through there. If I'm interested in moving how I normally do an analysis, I would use this next, which will just take me to the next plot as I work through the database. And you can see the data is being updated as we go along. And of course, the previous plot just moves back up the list. And you can see how that works. So going across the top, our first button is a Select Database. If you hover over that button, it will tell you what the path is for the current database. And that database can exist on the current machine where the analysis software is, or it can exist out on a network as long as that location on the network is mapped to this computer as a mapped network drive. And that's the only thing that has to be done to allow this database to be stored on a network and run from there. Previous plot, next plot, we already talked about. This select plot type is where we get all of our different plots that we can display are selected here. And so if I wanted to do another FFT plot, I can select that. Drops on here and looks like this. And what I usually do with the second one is I'll make him smaller, stick him over here on the side, and just keep an eye on actual amplitudes over here. And on the analysis portion, we'll get into that. But that's how you pull up these different items that are here. That is the previous analysis, and I'll usually just kind of plop him over at the side so I can see what was done previously. A note about these windows that are opened up, they're all independent. They're all can be moved around, placed wherever you'd like on your monitor spread, whatever that may be. So that's all selected from the select plot type. These buttons underneath this little section are the ways that we can look at data. We can note that there's a timestamp on each one of these data sets. We can step back older in time, and it just moves it up. So the most current number is here at the top, the oldest number is at the bottom. And we can just step back through time and displaying each of those. Or we can go back one newer, or we can click again and have it bring up the current information. If we find a data set that's not functional, we can hit delete date. It will bring up a list like this guy. We can scroll down through here, select the data set that we want to delete, and if we said yes here, it would delete that from the database and would go on. So I'm just going to close this out and go back because I'm locking my data right here. Our database setup is accessed through this button. Our list update I mentioned earlier. Create an order list, that's the one I was talking about. We're going to create a list for our VBox 3, we'll do it there. Or a list for our VBox 2, 4, or 6 is done here. So I'll just cancel out of that guy. If we're going to upload data into our database, we select this button and we'll go over that in a different unit. Let's stay with database tools. This is what that looks like. Right now we've got 3 different database tools. Helps with update, manipulating the database, looking at data that's there, so on and so forth. So I'll go ahead and close that. Our machine condition map setup, that's for a different video, or trend setup, a different video as well. This plus sign is if you're going through and want to make your own list to go back to. It's just a way of collecting points to just go back through quickly and not have to scroll through and choose them from the database. So that's one of those options. Report. Basically, when we generate a report, there'll be another video on that one. Jump over here to our help button. And it's just a basic verbal, almost like a textbook kind of help. Let's say I want to look at my waveform plot. It shows me the different buttons, the different things that can be done. It shows you a little picture of what that looks like. But it's referring to a verbal description and basic information about that. We can select any one of these. Basically brings up the different things and lets you take a look at things. So that's the help button. And really that's the entire program, and all of these individual analysis windows is where all the data goes to look at data and so forth. So I hope this has been helpful, and see you later.